Well, good morning, Facebook family. Good morning to all the leaders out there. We say good morning to you. And you know, I always say good morning to your purpose. Good morning to your possibilities. Good morning to your dreams. Good morning. We are now in the month of May where there is unlimited possibilities. No matter what may have occurred in the month of April, this is a brand new month. And we're going to set the tone for this month. This month, you will get everything you desire to get if you purpose it in your mind. You lay out the action steps, and then you got to do what? You got to go to work. You got to execute. Well, you know, I'm joined by my co-host, Dr. Leroy McKenzie. Good morning, Dr. Leroy.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
And
how are you?
How are you? I am well. You know, so we have another phenomenal guest on today. And we, you know, it's going to be a very, I think, engaging conversation. I'm going to introduce this queen in a second. And we're going to learn about her business, but we're also going to learn about some tips and tools on how she continuously continue to grow, continue to build. And that's what we all are. We're in a state of building. We're in a state of growing. Dr. Leroy, kind of help us set the tone for this conversation, because you know you got a saying that I love, and I always get it messed up, but you know what it is. How you're going to end something better than you started. What's that quote again?
I'll start it off like this. You just drove right down the street, Catherine, when you said talking about building, because this year, 2022, it's building season. What are you building in 2022? And my goal, as Catherine's goal it is to make you better by the end of the year than you were at the beginning of the year. And you can't do that if you're not tuned in to the Good Morning to the Leader in You podcast. But we are trying to make you better. We want to make sure that after every episode, you are better after that episode than you were before that episode. So we try to bring you some of the most engaging, innovative, powerful, influential, just folks that are doing some great things in the community, because we want to make you better. We want to bring you those people that are going to pour into you. I have the saying where it's the picture in the glass theory, which is you know how you go to a restaurant and there's a place setting at each at the table. There's a place setting at each of the around the table. And at each of those settings is a glass. Now they'll bring you out, the restaurant, they'll bring you out a pitcher of water, lemonade, whatever, iced tea, soda, they'll bring it out. That pitcher is used to pour into each of those glasses. Wow, sometimes with the pitcher where we pour into people, sometimes with a glass where we need to get poured into. So hopefully, when you tune in to the Good Morning to the Leader in You, you're that glass that gets poured into to be able to move forward into your day, into the rest of your week. Because we come to you Tuesday, so we ain't quite there on Monday when you know to get you going and everything like that. But we can be your Tuesday tea, lemonade, whatever it is, to pour into you so that you can have what you need in order to be able to move through the rest of the week. So back to you, Kathy.
Absolutely, absolutely. At this time, I'm going to introduce our special guest on today. I'm going to tell you something. Miss Esthervencia, she is the CEO of United Legacy Financial Tax, and she is based in the Orlando, Florida area. However, she is not limited to doing business in all 50 states. I met this queen through social media, and we immediately connected. I identified with her mission. I identified with her work ethics, and I thought it would be great for her to be a part of this show. Queen Esther, welcome. How are you? Let's just hit that unmute button.
Hello, good morning. Thank you so much for having me. I am super excited and nervous a little bit, but I'll be fine. Thank you so much, Catherine, for having me this morning.
Absolutely. Thank you for being a part of Good Morning to the Leader in You, where we pour into other leaders. And I think Dr. Leroy said it so perfectly. Sometimes we're pouring into others, sometimes others is pouring into us. And so we asked you to come on this show that it may be some, you know, tips that you've learned along the way as a leader, as an entrepreneur, as a mom, you know, to other mom business owners out there. So you can share some of those golden nuggets so we can all build and continue to grow. Well, first, let everybody know a little bit about your entrepreneurship journey. How did you get started? And why did you pick the tax industry?
Oh, well, I started back in 2015, my first entrepreneur journey with my online boutique called EVD Boutique. That's a long story, starting in my childhood when I make my first sell with clothes. My mom was a citrus. She used to sew clothes and give them to me to go sell in the market in Haiti. So that's when I started for the love of clothing. And I just opened in my first, when I had my first child, Andrew, and back in 2015, I just said, you know what, let me do something that can allow me to be home as a mom. And I started my online clothing store, and it was working out for the time being. But when the pandemic started, it just wasn't. So for my tax office, I started back in 2017 when a colleague of mine on our office, and I reached out to her. I said, I wanted to learn something new. I love business. And as a mom, I want to be flexible to be able to spend time with my kids at home and still make income. And she teach me how to do it. And then I started working with her since 2017, 2019. I stopped working with her, and then I opened my own office. I had the knowledge. I also have a mentor, a tax mentor, and a personal mentor as well. So I just started. Whenever I learn something, I love to learn. So whenever I learn something for somebody, like I'm going to pay attention and learn everything that I can and do it my own way. And it's something that you can help your community. And I love giving back to my community. So that helped me a lot to do that.
Well, I'm grateful that you even shared your heritage, from Haiti, and your mom taught you a skill at a young age. You stated, as your mom would make the clothes and then you would sell the clothes. So you started your entrepreneurship journey young. And even if there are any youth or young adults, or maybe it's a parent watching with their child now or later, you sow those seeds early, right? And when those seeds are sown early, they take root and they grow. From that initial seed that your mom planted in you, now you have a full-blown tax business that you've been able to help business professionals, individual and businesses around their finances as it relates to taxes. And we know we really just came out of that heavy tax season. I know sometimes it can still spill over into May and so forth, but that heavy tax season we just transitioned out of. But talk a little bit about that transition from you, from a child, when your mom planted that seed. What did that do for you in terms of wanting to be an entrepreneur?
Honestly, watching her growing up, it just make me feel bad for mothers in general. If you say, wow, she have to do all that in order to feed me. And then I think one time she making the clothes, waking up early and then go sell it. I said, can I go with you? And then so I started going with her. And then I said, can I go by myself while you making the clothes at home? She agreed, since I already know everybody in the market. And I said, they might pay me more for the stuff since I'm a child. I was 5 years old. And I started carrying a basket on my head with 5 pieces of clothes. And I sold it. And then I give my mom the money and go back. And then I started thinking, and then she have a little boutique where she's selling food. She's making food and she's selling it to people. So the money her children father would give her, she would make a little business. I see how she like to hustle. I said, wow. She said, my children will never go a day hungry because you guys did not ask to be born. I give birth to you guys, so I have to make a way. So that helped me out, especially I think once I become a mother myself. And I remember, I said, wow, I remember when that age I was helping my mom out to feed me, and the things that she said to me, I always say this, I did not come from Haiti to be poor in America. And I would always say that, just because if she could do what she did in a third world country, me being in an advanced country like this, there's the opportunity are endless. There's nothing I cannot do. You just teach me and I would go with that, and I would pay somebody, a mentor, whoever it is, to continue my education so I can do the best that I can. I think the hustler in me, that's my mom who implanted that seed, and I'm so grateful to her. And I would do the same for my daughter. I want her to know, yes, I'm here. I give birth to you. I want to work hard too. And I also want you to work hard to see where the money come from, what I had to do to give you the life that you have. And so that's really inspired me.
And I think, I didn't even know how this conversation was going to turn, but I think this is so perfect because we're leading up to Mother's Day weekend. And so I think as you shared your story, how your mom poured into you, and then how you're able to pour into your children. And you said you was 5 years old, and you saw what your mom was doing. And you said, no, mom, give it to me. So you already had that seed, but your mom planted that seed because you said you saw your mother's hustle, her grind, and how she wasn't going to see y'all hungry. And in turn, you're not doing that, for your children. You don't want to see them hungry. I just think that this is so beautiful. Dr. Leroy, anything you want to chime in with this piece before we kind of talk a little bit more about her tax business?
Well, the thing that kind of stuck out to me, or the word or two words together that stuck out to me when she's talking about, when Leslie's talking about what she's doing is the work ethic that her mother had, and then the work ethic that she poured into Esther, like you said, 5 years old, can I go sell it myself? What child does that? At 5 years old, you know? So I think that is really awesome to hear you say that, because a lot of entrepreneurs, they don't understand the work ethic that goes into building creating a business, one, but then also building a business. And you had those tools because of what your mother built within you. You saw her. She was the physical representation of you saying, wow, mom's doing it. This is something that's instilled in me. And then you carry on, and now you're pouring into your daughter because your daughter sees you and it's like, well, mommy doing it, grandma doing it. This is something that I see can be done too. So that stuck out to me. And then your tenacity for your, I'm saying, here's a Les Brown word, your hunger for what you do. That the task is you take on obstacles, you take on those tasks. It's like, look, I'm hungry. I want to learn. And as I say, y'all, the L for leader is always listening and always learning. So I think it's great, Esther, that is, I see those work ethics in you. And I know you got it from your mom, but can you talk to entrepreneurs and kind of just a little bit before we get into the taxes, how important that is, the work ethic that you have, and how important that is for being successful and growing your business?
That's a very good question. It is very important. Whenever I look at somebody, I always say first impression matter. I have to look at your work ethic. What can you can talk, you can tell me you can do something, but can you implement it? What can you do? Like, I love seeing the hard work behind it, the drive. And sometimes it might come from a sad past from your childhood, or it might come from your hunger in life, not to be broke or to be poor. And like, for me, I always said that I did not come from Haiti to be poor, and that will always be my drive. I don't care if I have to clean the street. If that's something I have to do to put food on the table, I will do it. If I can turn that into a business, let's put three women together and said, let's create a LLC. Let's start cleaning let's work with the government and clean the street. Because you have to do whatever it takes. I was not born to be poor. I feel like I was born to be an entrepreneur just because of the way my mom raised me and the way that I choose. Like, life is a choice. Like, I choose to be an entrepreneur. I choose to be a wife. I choose to be a mom. I choose to be a Christian. Like, those choices that I made, I would live by them and I won't regret them. And your work ethic is so important. You have to be hungry. You have to work like it's your last day. Like, you have to work. It's something that you love. And for me, it's something that I love. So I'm very passionate about the things that I do because I love it. And I have the hunger. I have at least 18 people in Haiti that's depending on me to see me win, and for me to help them out. I have to hustle. I have to do it. There's no failure in my book.
There is no failure. Listen, we want to give a shout out to author Angelina from Texas. As you were speaking, she dropped in the comment feed on Facebook, yes, with her hands up. And, it was a couple things that I heard you say, among many things. You said you're going to do what you have to do to put food on the table, even if that means to clean the street, but you didn't stop there. Then I would turn it into a business. Sometimes we act like we too high up there to do certain type of businesses or certain type of jobs to make sure the bills are met. And as an entrepreneur, you have to do what you have to do until your business grows and expands. And I think that's sometimes missing. Sometimes business, to say we're a CEO, is glamorized. It's glamorized to the point that we just want to sit back in a big office, put our feet up, and no. To be a business owner, you do what you got to do. And that's what you said. You do what you got to do. You said several times you didn't come from Haiti to here to be poor. You said several times you're going to do what you have to do. And that's what we have to do as a business owner. I don't care if you're in the beginning phases, the middle phases of you've been in business for a long time. Sometimes you also have to reinvent yourself. And this is what I took away from what you said. You said if something happens, if you got to clean the street, but then you want to reinvent yourself and turn it into a business. So for those that's watching now or that's going to watch later, if you feel that you're in a rut in your personal life or rut in your business, reinvent yourself. This is what we're hearing right now. Talk a little bit more about how you got to reinvent yourself as a business owner to stay fluid and to stay moving and not to go under.
So for me, in that case, I would say, like, if you started a business, you just started just because you see other people started the business, you get your feet wet to see how it is, and it might not work out. And for me, I would say stop. Go do strategy. Go follow people that's in the same niche that you want to do. Like follow mentor, like you would say, follow social media. There is so much you can learn in the internet. Before I ask you a question, I have to do research in all the platforms first. If I cannot find it, I would ask you for help. And for me, I feel like to reinvent yourself, go on Google, said, put your business in. This is the type of business. Look for people in the same niche. Said, okay, this is the type of client that I'm looking for. This is what I want to do. And rewrite your stories, because sometimes it might be, your story might be here. You just don't know how to bring it out. And one person might say one word to you and it come out straightforward. And I feel like just start over. It's okay to start over. It's not a failure. Some people scared to start over because people are going to say, wow, she started this business, she stopped. She started this business, she stopped. When is she going to get it together? And sometimes you have to try multiple things to see what works for you. In my case, I think I try at least 4 different things before I see, oh, you know what? The tax business would work out. Not only am I good with people, I like talking to people, I like helping people, and I'm really good in the finance. Why not just niche down right there? But doesn't mean that's all I'm there. I have to write ebooks. I have to write personal books. There is more to my story, but right now this is what I'm focusing on. It's okay to start multiple things and fail, but as long as you know the goal is not to just stop, just do it. Don't say, oh, I'm gonna wait 2 more. Let me wait 2 years so people don't say I'm just doing it. Just do it. Just like Nike said, just do it. Yeah, just do it. Get your EIN for free on irs.gov. Get your LLC for $132 and just have the business name created on social media. Try to connect yourself with people that's in the same industry. Ask questions. Even if they say no, no is nothing. Yes, no, okay, that's it. Ask the next person. I asked 100 people. One of them will say yes. So don't give up. Keep doing it. Rebrand yourself. Rename yourself. Whatever you got to do, just don't give up, because I don't want to look back and say I regret not starting this business. I don't want to look back and say I regret not continuing just because of what people say. People would always talk, good or bad. They will talk.
I mean, I love your energy. We got a comment in the feed. Mark Wiggins, we want to give you a shout out. He's also an author in the Maryland area. And as you were talking, he dropped a comment saying, absolutely, get off the bench. Get off the bench. No more
Yes.
sitting on the bench. And then Miss Angelina just dropped a comment, said, giving up is not an option. Dr. Leroy.
Not at all.
It's just so important, what Esther was saying about, I don't say reinventing yourself, because I had a couple of conversations yesterday. I was talking to some business associates, and they were having, I guess, going through trying to figure out one, not reinventing, but kind of, I call it a shift. There's a shift. Sometimes you have to shift. The pandemic made us have to shift in what we were doing. So you have to, as an entrepreneur, you have to be able to shift. And that may mean taking a look and evaluating your products and services that you offer to individuals to see, hey, what am I doing, or what is it that I need to do in order to be able to keep myself in front of my target audience? That causes you to be able to just say, wow, maybe instead of this platform, now a lot of them have moved to this particular platform. So having the ability to be able to sit back, do an analysis on you and your business, your brand, where you are as far as appearing in front of your target audience to where you need to go. A lot of entrepreneurs, believe it or not, and I need to kind of get on the bus with this one, have used TikTok. I'm like, what in the world does TikTok have to do with running a business? So trying to figure that out, and seeing how, and I did exactly what Esther was saying. You study, you look at people, what business owners that I believe in, that I think are doing great things. And I look at, okay, they're on TikTok. How are they using it? How are they using TikTok to be able to get in front of their audience? And what are they doing in order to be able to make that successful? Because if it puts them in front of their target audience, then that's what we should be doing. So I think that was great. And then the other conversation we had was, okay, we had a business associate looking to grow their brand. Okay, well, if you want to grow your brand, how are you, or where, I always ask these 2 questions. Where's your target audience, and how do you get yourself in front of them? If they're in college, then how are you need to be on those college campuses. You need to be in front of those students. What colleges are in your radius that you can go immediately now that we're opening back up, you can be in front of. And then what other, colleges that you can reach through the digital aspect, can you do that as well? So it's about shifting and understanding how you present your brand, or how you can put your brand in front of people. Because the more people that see you, it's the more potential that you have for clients that you have. And like I just said, I can talk to 100 people. It's a numbers game. However many, the more people you talk to, the more clients that you have the opportunity to develop, to gain through those opportunities. But you got to be willing to talk to people. You gotta show up and talk to people, because if you don't talk to anybody, then they're not going to know about you. So back to you, Captain.
Absolutely. Let's talk now a little bit about United Legacy Financial Tax. When you're talking to an individual or a business owner, you also do business taxes?
Yes.
Okay. What would you recommend to business owners, like throughout the course of the year, on how they should maintain, or, just basic maintenance of their books, before they even come to you get their taxes done? What should they be doing on an ongoing basis?
One thing that I would suggest is tax planning, which is one thing that I do offer at my office. We do tax planning. We help you plan your finance throughout the entire year. We also do bookkeeping for you, payroll. So that way, when the tax season come, it's either you use me or someone else. You already have everything ready. You have to, like a lot of people, they said, well, if I use my business credit card, do I have to still keep the receipt? I recommend you keep the receipt. Yes, of course. You go out with a colleague to eat. You use your business credit card or debit card. Keep the receipt. And I always tell them, no, do not use your personal bank account for your business, and do not use your business bank account for personal. Just make sure you separate those. So when tax season come, you'll be able to know what you can write off and things like that. It'll be way easier, and there's so much you can save. You won't know if you don't ask me as a tax professional, or you won't know. And as a business owner, we cannot do everything ourselves. It's better to hire somebody with the expertise to help you out. Like, and for my case, if I'm helping myself, I started doing my own tax planning. And I said, oh, wow, that's a lot of work, but it's really helped. When it's tax season, I just scan using my scan app, and boom, and everything is fine. And for the bookkeeping as well, you need that. You definitely need that as a business owner. I mean, some people, they're going to say, well, if I just started the business this year, do I need it? You can learn how to do it yourself, or you can, it's a little pricier for your first year, but I recommend that you learn and ask for some tip. Like, one of the things I started doing on my social media is like go once a week live and share tips. This is what you should be doing in this quarter for your business, the next quarter for your business, and things like that. And I even recommend opening another bank account to put money to pay the IRS, because as a business owner, the more you grow, the more money you make, the more you have to pay Uncle Sam. And that's just the reality of it. So having a good tax planning, bookkeeping, and somebody to do payroll for you, sometimes it's better to put yourself on payroll. In my opinion, honestly, it saves me a lot to put yourself on payroll, and it doesn't cost a lot. If you really work with a small business owner and you just do a pay plan, it will be fine. I think you should definitely do tax planning.
Absolutely. And I think you just brought up another point that I haven't heard too often. You mentioned open up a separate bank account for the taxes that you have to pay for your business. Can you talk a little bit about that? So, okay, let's say a business owner, through their company, they made 100,000 hypothetically, and they open up a separate bank account, like, because I heard that quarterly to pay the taxes. How does all that work? Or can you elaborate more on that?
A lot of people doesn't do it, sadly, but it's better for a business owner to pay quarterly. That way you won't have to pay them a big chunk of your money. For example, one of my real estate agent that I do her business tax yearly, she make about over 100K. And then what she did every quarter, she would take 10%. That's lower because your income bracket change. If you married, your income bracket change, she might have to pay 12%, but she take 10% of her monthly income each quarterly. If she make like 100K this quarter, she would take 10% of that, put that in that other bank account. Sometimes she would send it off straight to the IRS, or sometimes she just leave it in that bank account, and she keep doing that for each quarter. And sometimes she just send all of that money all at once, and she do the math. And sometimes she might be a little lower. And there is a lot of things that we can do to actually lower her tax by the deduction. She can, if she purchase a vehicle in her business, and she can write that off depending on the things. And if she use her home office, or she have an office, her laptop, her clothes, there's a lot of things you can write off to actually help her save. So her putting that 10% away is small, but instead of 12%, but when you do all the write-off, it comes together. So that's why I really recommend that you should open a separate bank account. Every quarter, put amount of money in it. So you said, okay, I made this amount of money this quarter. Let's take 10% of that and put in this. It might be a lot. You might say, well, I don't want to give away all that money. Sometimes you might not have, but when it's time for me to do your taxes and I have to write off things, the IRS might send you that money back. But it's better when you're a big business owner to actually open that separate bank account and put that money in there. I really recommend that. And if you
That
just
makes a
started
lot
a
of
year
sense.
ago, no. But I
Yeah.
recommend you do that.
Yeah, because I actually read that recently. The article that I read talked about that very thing, that you should have, that as an entrepreneur you should have that account, because it saves you instead of having to pay that one big lump sum that you're trying to scrounge around and figure out how you're going to get the money. You already have it set aside, even if it's like you said, you either set it aside or send it directly to the IRS. That way, it's something that's already there. And I think that it's important. See, this is why I believe that we as entrepreneurs, as a part of your team, you need an accountant, you need a tax preparer, because they should be looking out for you in this kind of way, where they can show you these tips or these tools in order to be able to guide you through. That's going to benefit you, in the long run, because entrepreneurs, most of us aren't. We think about, okay, I'll pay it when it comes due, and we aren't thinking about it. And then when it comes due, it's like, unfortunately, we in our community, we have that, okay, I'll pay it when it's due type of mindset, instead of being prepared for it. And I like, Kevin, if I can, I like what you have in the name, part of the name that you have in your business, United Legacy Financial. Can you talk a little bit about the legacy aspect and building legacy through building legacy building through your business, and what part that plays? Do you talk to entrepreneurs that are your business owners? Do you talk to them about their legacy building and protecting their business from an accounting standpoint?
That name honestly come from a group of entrepreneurs. We all were sitting together. You said, like, we are not just doing this for the money. We are actually building a legacy. So with that legacy, we want to be able to help other entrepreneurs. And I don't work for the IRS. I always said that. I work for the people, for my community. And I work for you so I can help you save. I can help you. Like, for instance, I'll say I make 100K a year. And then I have a mortgage, I have children. And then I don't have no saving account, nothing. I'm just enjoying the money, bragging that I'm an entrepreneur. But when you come to me to do your taxes, I don't just do your tax. I give you a lesson on finance. I tell you, this is how much you need to save a year. This is, even if you don't own a business, sometimes I even recommend tax planning for a family. Because if you plan your tax as a family, you'll be able to save for your children college and still make money in your pocket. And we're building a legacy, and that legacy includes the community that I'm doing their tax. I think one of my thing is, one time one of my clients said, I love how you just teach me so much in one day that I'm sitting right in front of you to do my tax. And I said, this is a legacy. I want you to come back in 5 years from now and said, that whatever that you teach me, look what I did with it. Or maybe that client might wanted to be in the finance industry and did not know where to start. And that just little lesson that I gave her make her want to. And that feel like that's the sort of building a legacy. A legacy doesn't just have to be within yourself and your family. It can be with your community as well. And with the name United, I want to be united as one, as a community, wherever state you live, wherever country, wherever you are. I want you to watch me speak and say, wow, she's not just talking on how much she want to create a legacy or for her family. She just want that for all of us. And we all can have it. You just need that person to be on your corner to help you reach that. So creating a legacy is not just creating a legacy for your family. I feel like it's for everyone around you, as long as they want it.
Absolutely. We want to give a couple of shout outs. As you were sharing, Miss Shauna Turner, the founder of HR Mask, is tuning in from the Virginia area. She says, good morning. And she says she agreed with what you're saying. Then also Miss Angelina from the Texas area said, wow, great information. Everything that you have been sharing, we definitely are feeling it. I mean, just the energy in which you're sharing. And I feel that you're very passionate, not just about only doing taxes, but about the education, making sure people are educated around their financial wealth, their financial, output. You said you believe in the tax planning, making sure not only business owners do tax planning, but families do tax planning as well. So talk a little bit about that. If there's a family member watching, or they want to do family tax planning, what does that look like?
Okay, I'll give you a quick example. There is this client of mine. He doesn't own any business, but he do Uber, Lyft. He uses his own car. He pay for his own gas. He do like mileage and things like that. Like, and he buy food. Sometimes he would drive somebody from Orlando to Miami. That, like, those are all things he's using his own vehicle. But there is a way you can actually claim that in your tax. But then some people said, no, you can only claim those things only if you're a business owner, only if you have an LLC. But if you start planning, keeping all the receipt of all the food that you stop at the gas station to do, all the gas that you put in your car, anything, charger that you put in the car for the passenger, any of those things, as long as you have the receipt, you make sure you start planning your thing. You said, you know what, I'm going to start Uber January. And in January, you start saving all of those receipts when taxes income. Yes, you can write those off. Yes, that can save you a ton of money. You don't need to have an LLC. Anyway, the Uber or Lyft, they do give you a 1099. When you put that 1099 in, you can actually add that into a Schedule C, but they won't know that until somebody like me tell them. Because you're doing Uber, Lyft, you're spending all that money. Sometimes I know somebody who actually spend more money being out there than actually come in their pocket, because they're doing everything to make sure the car is clean, the car has slack in it, everything look good. But when taxes income, how can you write that off, even if you don't have a LLC or EIN? They're going to give you on 1099. And then that 1099, I can plug in a Schedule C to claim all of those with receipt and proof. So that's why I think it's very important. Some people, they cut grass. They don't have an EIN or LLC. Some people don't even know how to start a business, but they're doing all those things business owner doing. As long as you have receipt, you can save so much money when you file your taxes.
Keep your receipts. That's a constant thing.
Keep your receipt, yes. Keep your receipt, yes. Because you want to have proof. Because if you come to me, you tell me you do this and that, where's the proof? Because if I listen to what you said when the IRS come to my office to look around, hey, you give that person this much money on mileage, but where's the proof? Like, that's why I recommend everybody should download the app to track your mileage. If you're doing Uber, Lyft, if you're cutting grass, whatever that you're doing, even if you don't have your LLC, I recommend everybody get one. But even if you don't have it, there's so much where you can still save and tax even without it.
Wow. We want to give a shout out to Miss Kendall Lanice, who is tuning in from the Maryland area. She is a certified life coach, a speaker, podcast host. Definitely follow her page. Again, her Facebook is Kendall Lanice. Again, thank you for popping in and thank you for tuning in and supporting us. So as we continue to build on a family side, we're building our financial plan. On the business side, we're building our financial plan. Talk a little bit about if you're working with someone and they wanted to retain you. Like, I know you've talked about some of your services, but can you just kind of elaborate on all the services you offer?
Some of the services that I offer, personal tax, business tax. I help you obtain your EIN, LLC. Some of those things you can do on your own, but some people, they rather have a professional do it since they already know what to do. And I also help you start a business with all those documents, what you need, what website you need to go on to register your business, the document that you would be needing. Also, I also help with social media marketing when it comes to business. Not very deep into that. I just started last year. It's like how to get your business seen on Facebook, how to get your business seen on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, LinkedIn. Some people, business owners, don't even know what LinkedIn is. And so I would and part of my package would have all of this in it. And I would show you how to do behind the scene video if you're recording your product, or if you want to sit in your office and speak in front of the camera, are you shy? I would give you what to say and help you out so you can just get yourself out there. Because closed mouth don't get fed. You have to get your business out there. Even if you're shy, and by me looking at your face speaking, I would trust you more than you just typing and posting something. So I recommend business owners start showing your face. You don't have to be on social media 24/7 for people to see you. You can post once a day or once every 2 weeks, as long as you have a message and you can repurpose old content. Show your face out there. So I want my business owner to know, yes, you don't have to be a TikTok guru. You don't have to be somebody popular who likes social media. Hire somebody to do that for you. Get a big package where they can help you start the business and get all that in it. So I offer all those things because I do them for my own business. I do it for my friends, entrepreneur around me. So I said, well, since I do it for the people around me, why not do it for other people?
Repurpose your content. That struck home when you said that. Repurpose your content. For those of you, I know we're on Facebook right now, but for those of you that also on Instagram, if you want to follow United Legacy Financial Tax, you can follow her business page on Instagram at EVD Tax Pro. Again, that's EVD Tax Pro. I encourage all of you to follow her page there. Specifically, if you're in the Florida area, her office is it's listed on her Instagram page, 5104 North Orange Blossom Trail, Suite 208. And again, that's Orlando, Florida. However, you may be watching from another area. She does serve clients in all 50 states as well. But if you're specifically in the Florida area and want to meet with her in person, you can schedule a time for the family planning, tax planning, or for your business tax planning. Now let's kind of pivot a little bit. Talk to the entrepreneurs about, when you're building your business, sometimes we hit bumps in the road. Sometimes we have challenges. How do you conquer your challenges when you're faced with them?
Um, I definitely hit a lot of bump in the road. And I always said, this is not just, I look at the future. I said, this is for the future. So for instance, if money was the issue, if the support was the issue, if community was the issue, sometimes you have to do it alone. I always said I wasn't born with nobody, but God wanted you to have community. Ask for help, just do it. Sometimes in business,
It's okay.
in business and job, people keep calling me, tax season. Even though it's over, it's not really over for me. I got at least 5 calls. You're gonna hit bump in the road. You're gonna be discouraged. You're gonna want to give up. Yes, but do not give up. Money might be the issue. Go to that uncle. Hey, uncle, this is the business idea I have. If you can let me borrow this much money, in 5 years, I write you a contract. I'll give you the money back. Some people, they're afraid to ask family member for money. They're afraid to ask for help. And sometimes, yes, pride can play a big part. I went to my mother-in-law and asked her for $2,000. I told her that my light bill was about to cut off and this is how much money I need. And this lady just gave me that money and I started my tax business. Still this day, she doesn't know that's the money that started the business. And I used that money to get my EIN, I already had that, my LLC. I used that money to get a $500 office space here in Orlando, even though I did not know where the money was going to come from. But I know I'm a hustler. I know I can go to somebody's house and say, I watch your kids for you. I walk your dog for you for money, for me to continue paying it, because I know in life, nothing comes easy. You have to work for everything that you got. You have to work hard. I mean, at the end, I had to give her the money back because I asked to borrow it. But when I give it back, I already made 15K over that. So it's not a problem. So sometimes don't be embarrassed to ask your friends, hey, I want to start this business, but I don't have the money. If you trust me, you can let me borrow this money. I would give you your return double or something like that. Don't give up. Keep going. If you have to get a second job, get a second job. If you have to borrow from your mom, dad, whoever it is, do it. I mean, just do it. If they love you, they care about you, they would let you borrow the money. Now my mother-in-law, when she looked at me, she said, wow, you started with my money and then look, you make triple that already.
Triple your money, triple.
Yeah, I cry sometimes. Sometimes I want to give up. Sometimes you have to leave your kids with people to go marketing out there. And you have to leave your kids with people to go outside, talk to people rejecting you, dog chasing after you when you're marketing yourself in the apartment. Things happen where you just want to give up. Men trying to hit on you because they see a young lady by herself walking around. I did not give up. I do it for 3 months straight marketing myself, and I end up with 150 clients my first year because by myself. Sometimes I even take my daughter with me. Like for people that follow me on social media, they always see my daughter in the office. I take my daughter to the office every single day with me once I'm done marketing. Because if I'm going to pay you to watch her and then she's going to come home and say, Mommy, I don't want to be there crying. You have to do what you have to do. You have to do what you have to do. And your client will understand. Some of them are moms. They will understand. Business don't have to be glamorous all the time. Yes, sometimes it's going to be my daughter sitting in the chair right there in her iPad and me doing your tax and me having a conversation with you. It's going to be hard. You're going to cry. You're going to feel bad as a mom that I'm bringing my kid to the office every day. You have to keep going because trust me, your daughter would thank you. Your son would thank you in the future to say, look, everything that she did and look the life that I'm living. Because her college fund would be paid for by the time she reached 18. My goal is for her to be a millionaire by the time she reached 21. You never know. But it started from me walking around doing all this. It's not going to be easy. And sometimes I didn't have no money to pay the bill. I let my husband pay everything by himself and I feel bad. Because I'm a giver by nature and I like to include myself. But you're going to cry. You're going to be broke. You're going to be without friends. You're going to feel like your friends are not inviting you out. You're going to lose people. You're going to lose friends. Do not give up because you're going to thank yourself for not giving up. The money going to be nice. The people that you're going to surround yourself with in the future are going to be nice. It just, in general, don't give up. Do not give up. I know it's going to be bad. Don't give up.
We want to give a shout out to Kevin Johnson. We thank you for tuning in. Kevin Johnson is in the Maryland area, specifically Baltimore, of Purple Honey. So thank you for tuning in. You mentioned so many things. Don't give up. Don't give up. Dr. Lee, were any words?
Yeah, I'm so impressed with what Esther has done, is saying. Everything that she is saying are things that need to be reiterated throughout our community. You have to understand that Esther, you are a boss. And let me tell you what that means. Because I ain't talking about all those other definitions that you hear people out there. Here's the definition of a boss: someone who builds, organizes, shifts, and sacrifices. And that's exactly what you have done. You built a business from the ground up using an investor, using an investor. But you organized, you understood, hey, it's going to take not just saying, oh, I'm going to open the doors to a business, but I'm going to be organized in such a way that I can build it. And as a result of it, I'm able to sustain it and keep the doors open. Shifting, you not only shifted you from where you were to where you are now, but you were willing to sacrifice. A lot of entrepreneurs aren't willing to sacrifice, because it's going to cost. Like you said, whether it's leaving your child, having to go to work or to work, and sacrifice that time that you could be spending with them, but that comes at a price. Comes at a price to be successful. It comes at a price to do what we do. And a lot of people aren't willing to sacrifice time. They aren't willing to sacrifice, sometimes family, because it takes you away. This is going to take you away from your family. I promise you. Being an entrepreneur is going to take you away from your family. So it's wonderful to hear her say all the things that she said about her building her business and doing the things that she's done. And everything like that, because we want entrepreneurs to understand that this isn't an easy journey. This isn't a journey that's for everybody, and it takes those who have the mental capacity. It takes people that have the physical capacity too, because you gotta have a good health. You want to be in good health, but not just your physical health, but also your financial health too. You want to make sure that you understand your money, how your money works. They're doing those things that will allow you to be able to be as successful as you want to be and as you can be as an entrepreneur, and being able to do that. And everything that Esther said today has been just right on point. And we got to be willing to put in that time. We got to be willing to do the work, because both of us, all three of us here, and those that are listening that are entrepreneurs will tell you, this isn't something that it doesn't just happen overnight. You got to put the work in. You got to put the work in when it comes to that. But I did have a question that I wanted to ask Esther, because you had mentioned receipts. What's the easiest way? And we talked about preparing, entrepreneurs preparing all through the year for tax season, and you talked about having this separate account. How can, or what should an entrepreneur be doing, or what's the best software that they can use to keep those receipts all year long, or logging them, so that when they come to you, they're not coming to you with a shoebox, a Nike shoebox for the receipt saying, here you go, Esther, I got my receipts. What's the best software? Can you recommend a software for people to be able to use, or a kind of like a tracking system, if you will, too, like a processing system too?
Yeah, I don't remember the one that I use on top of my head. Is my business phone, but I would definitely share that with Catherine. Yeah, but I instead of a shoebox, people still doing that in 2022. Seriously, and somebody bring me a Walmart bag full of them this year. Yeah, so yeah, that happened a lot. I do just go on your Apple store or Android, whatever app store, just put receipt tracker. You would find a lot of them. I don't remember the one I use on top of my head, but I usually have a list in my office for my client. I have the list of the app to use for your receipt, because you're done using the receipt, you can scan it right away. And you can also, I use Audible. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Yes, I use that. That's one of them that I use. I like that because it's really, the document, it also turn it into PDF. Yes, so I use that a lot for my business. So just go on your app store, you will find a lot of them. And also always download that mileage tracking. If you know you're driving Uber or Lyft, if you know you're cutting grass, you fixing people roof, you going over the house, you driving a lot, you have to download the mileage tracker so you can keep those for proof as well. So yes, please don't bring your tax professional shoebox. Just make it easier. Every time you're done using it, scan. But some people, they forget. That's the thing. And I understand they do forget. At least put it in the shoebox. When tax season come, go ahead and scan all of them before you go to her. And there is this app that I will be connecting to my tax software, where once you scan all of those, it will come straight to my computer. So that way you won't have to even worry about it. So yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would put that on my Instagram once it's finished, because I'm building my new website as well. All that would be connected.
Cool.
No, that's really good.
Yeah.
For all of those that are watching now, I know I plugged your Instagram, but plug all of your contact information on how people can connect with you.
You can connect with me on all of my social media platform, Esther_Vencia or Esthervencia. I use the same on my name for everything, so people can find me very easily. Esthervencia, Vencia. YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, LinkedIn, the same name for everything, so it'd be easier to find me. And then for my tax business, it's EVD Tax Pro, because that was the original name, and then I have the purchases name this year for the United Legacy Financial.
Absolutely. We want to give a shout out to Dwight Robinson. Thank you so much for tuning in. We also want to give a shout out to Miss Donna Zimmerman. Thank you so much for tuning in. And there's a question in the chat that says, what about QuickBooks or FreshBooks? What are your thoughts about that?
I don't use them personally, but a lot of my fellow entrepreneur does use them. I don't use them personally, but a lot of people around me does.
Okay.
They're really good. I don't use any of those. I see a lot of good review because the software that I use is Drake. Drake already have the accountant software in there. So it's very pricey, but for me, since that's what I started with in 2017, I kept it. And even this year they added $300 extra. It's very pricey, but it have everything that I need: payroll, accountant, it have all of that. And also a portal for me to send things. Yeah. So I just use Drake. Some of you might know that software, but that's what I use. It's very popular. It's one of the number one.
Now, if someone is using QuickBooks or FreshBooks and they come to you for services, can they?
Oh, you froze up.
You froze for a little bit.
Yeah, can you repeat that?
Oh, okay. If someone is using QuickBooks or FreshBooks and they want to send you information from that, can they do that, or how can that integrate in any way?
There might have to be all technology connected in some way. I'm pretty sure if I contact Drake and said this person is using QuickBooks, is there a way we can? There's definitely always a way. And I also can have a QuickBooks. Some of them are free. It's not hard to learn, because if Drake is the hardest one, so yeah, it's not hard to learn anyway. If my client need it, I just sit for 5 hours straight and just study it and go ahead.
Drake not getting paid off of that, is he?
No, but when I tell you they're the most expensive, they not. They way too expensive.
He say, "Oh, I'm using my name."
They're so expensive. I wouldn't switch. QuickBooks is very good. I see a lot of good review. That actually making me wanna go look.
So you know, for the business owners that are tuning in, thank you, Miss Shauna from HR Mascom, Virginia, for dropping your business information. We ask anybody that's tuning in, feel free to drop your business information in the Facebook chat as we are doing this interview this morning. Again, feel free to drop your business information. As we get ready to wind down, what would you say, Esther, is any final motivational words or any final tax tips before we close out? And then Dr. Leroy, we're going to come to you for final words.
Okay. The final words I would say is, once you make up your mind, you said I wanted to start this business, reach out to other people. Don't feel embarrassed and said, oh, I don't want them to say, oh, I couldn't do it without them. Because I feel like that's one thing I heard the most. Oh, I want to do this by myself. We cannot do everything by ourselves. God did not create us to do things. That's why he created Adam and Eve. So you need a partner. And sometimes you will, as long as you put in the work, it's your work. Yes, that person assists you. That's why I have a mentor. Get a mentor and use social media to your best advantage. And the other thing I can say for the business owner, I know we want to serve everybody, but sometimes it's better to niche down and know who exactly are you trying to sell to. Who exactly are you talking to? Are you talking to entrepreneur? Are you talking to content creator? Are you talking to single mom, married mom, or like, know who your audience is? Once you know that, it's going to be so easy to sell and do whatever that you need to do. Don't give up. You can do it. I know sometimes you're going to want to give up, but just do it. And just use social media. Even if it's once a day, keep going. Don't burn yourself out, because you can get burned out easily. Especially try not to compare yourself to other people. A lot of social media entrepreneur, their life looks so glamorous, but when you know them from the back door, it's not like that at all. They don't have two pennies to rub together, but they making it seem like it, so you can love and trust them. But sometimes it's not like it seems. You have to do your own. Just know that if this is something I want to do, I'm going to work hard and make it happen. Not everybody that's showing off is really what it is about. And your favorite person, you might want to work with them. And when you pay them for service, it might not be what you expect, because when the person is really big out there, they have so many things going on. They're not going to have the capacity to give you what you want to. Sometimes it might have to just be a group coaching. Get a coach. I definitely recommend get a mentor. I have a tax mentor and I have a personal mentor. I definitely recommend that.
Wow. And thank you so much for sharing those powerful words. We want to give a shout out again to Miss Donna. She dropped in the business chat feed. The name of her business is the Ultimate Biz Consultants. And in the chat feed is the website for all the businesses that are tuning in. Feel free to drop your business information so we can continue to network even after this podcast is concluded. Dr. Leroy.
Yeah, absolutely. And with Danya, if you check out the UBC, which is the Ultimate Biz Conference, they have I don't know if it's ended or not yet. Has it ended, Danya, or not? If you can put it in the chat about they have a Mother's Day kind of gift and thing going on. So you want to check that out. It's for mothers because next week is Mother's Day. So it's great to see folks flourishing, women flourishing and doing what you all do. And I'll just talk about just one or two things really quickly. What Esther talked about this morning. I'm sitting here thinking, and I love your energy. And all I'm thinking about, all I got running through my head is Rick Ross. What's the song by Rick Ross? Oh, I can't even think of his. But anyway, the other one is Nipsey Hussle, Grinding All My Life, Grinding All My Life, grinding that song that he had called Grinding All My Life. This is a grind, y'all. It's a grind. Being an entrepreneur is a grind. We put our head down sometimes, and we do have to, we can't always have our head down and moving forward. We do have to take time for ourselves, for our families, to be able to enjoy what it is that what we're doing. Yes, we work hard and we do the things that we need to do in order to be able to put ourselves in the position that we want to be in. And with your business, it's always about positioning yourself to be successful, putting yourself in those places that is going to garner you to be able to increase your brand exposure, but then also increase your bottom line, because that's what you're in business for. You're in business to increase your bottom line. And you can't do that if you're not grinding. You can't do that if you're not working, if you're not always working on your business. If you're not, notice I didn't say working in your business, I said working on your business. As entrepreneurs, we want to be working on our business, not in our business. So if you have to do what Esther was saying, where you use people that are in your space to be able to do those things. If you have expertise that do things, then you want to certainly do that. Because I tell my friends all the time, like, no, I don't have to do everything. That's why I got a mechanic. Something go wrong with my car, I take it to a mechanic, let him deal with it. Same thing with an accountant. I want to be able to make sure that we have on our team those people that can do what it is that we don't have to do, so that you're spending more time working on your business, not in your business. And you can do that because that will give you the ability to be able to provide the 5-star customer service that you want to be able to give to your clients. And I promise you, if you give your clients that customer service that they need and deserve, they'll go from being customers, which is just a transaction, to being clients, which is where they'll come back to you again, and again. And here's the thing too, they're gonna bring somebody with them, because they're gonna tell somebody, oh, you need to hire Esther as your accountant. You need to have Catherine as your business strategist. All of those things that we need to do in order to be able to be where it is that we want to do. So that's why we do what we do here, to bring you great people like Miss Esthervencia, who are just doing some phenomenal things. And it's not just about her, it's about the community. She wants to make you better. She wants to make your business better, to do better. And what better kind of person to have on your team that says, it's not about me. I'm not here to take all your money, or I'm not here to do this. I'm here to make sure that it's not just about right now, but I'm here to help you and assist you to be able to build your legacy, to be able to create generational wealth. So that's my word, Captain. And in fact, I toss the mic back over to you.
Absolutely. We're going to give another shout out to Miss Shauna. She dropped in the chat feed. Thank you so much. And she also concurred, Dr. Leroy, when you said Esther had great energy. She said, yes, she has great energy. So we thank everybody for tuning in. If anything that was said was helpful to you, we ask that you share this feed even after we're done the podcast on today, because it's information that we all can take, use, implement to build our businesses, to build our family financial planning. Two quick announcements. May 14th in the Maryland area, CTR Strategy Solutions, we are holding a strategy session day. That day is kicking off at 11 a.m. If you want more information, send me an email, ct@catherinetrotter.com. We will be at the Cobalt Workspace, which is in Hamden, the Hamden area in Baltimore. So again, that's Saturday, May the 14th. We have a strategy session that's going down in person, and we have a virtual option for those that's not in the Maryland area. Then May 21st, Miss Esther's also going to be joining us live for a networking event that we're hosting in the Florida area. It's going to be at the Bohemian Hotel, Saturday, May 21st at 1 p.m. We thank everybody that have already RSVP'd for that day. That's going to be another phenomenal event. And Esther, I'm definitely going to give you room on the agenda for you to speak about what you do, because I think you would bring a lot of value on that day. And so we thank everybody for tuning in. Again, anyone needs assistance with strategic planning and organizational development, send me an email, ct@catherinetrotter.com. My website is simply first and last name, catherinetrotter.com. Follow me on my business pages on Instagram as well at CTR Strategy Solutions. And with that being said, we're going to see everyone at the top.